Hello, everyone. My name is Danny, and this review is for the movie called Whitney. 7 consecutive U.S. number one singles, 200 million plus albums sold worldwide. Whitney Houston was a music sensation who starred in several blockbuster movies before her brilliant career gave way to erratic behavior, scandals, and death at age 48. Using never before seen archival footage, exclusive demo recordings, rare performances, interviews, and audio archives, this fascinating film from Oscar winner Kevin McDonald reveals the truth behind the superstar's meteoric rise and tragic fall. This is a 2018 film. It is rated R, and it runs 2 hours. Whitney. Well, I'll just start off with the fact that this is a documentary. Um, Bobby, at one point, ends up saying to the camera, that's not the point of this documentary. And I don't like it when people are like self aware that they're in a movie, even if it is a documentary. Just say your information and move on with your, scene or whatever. I typically don't like documentaries, but I've got to be honest that this seems a little bit more like a story, and it's interesting with the music and everything. People that are talking in this movie do tend to have interesting things to say. It's not just like talk, 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 and I don't care. There's a lot of other scenes in the behind the scene footage and the never before seen music video stuff. That's kind of all kind of cool. So I enjoyed it more than other documentaries. Um, it is a nice origin story. Like when they talk about the childhood and the good parts and growing up in church, it's nice. For the first, I don't know, 40 minutes or more, it's a nice story. It's a nice origin. It's nice talking. It's nice things. Then I'm just going to be very blunt when I say this, okay? Whitney Houston then turns into every other superstar out there that deals with drugs and sex, and we think they're this phenomenal talent, but they're just some other junkie in the world who has way too much money. And this documentary lays it out for you. There's no arguing with anybody here. That's what happened to Whitney, and this story, and honestly, our memories, my generation totally remembers it being all over the news. And so it's very sad. And there's going to be people that say, that her talent was, all that mattered. And Michael Jackson's talent was all that mattered. But these people are on so many drugs. I just don't really feel sorry for them. And it's a sad feeling to have that. But it's just what it is. I mean, these people are making millions of dollars and living the life and, spreading their talent around the world, and they're misusing it. I mean, name 5 clean superstars. It's hard to throw a bucket out there and have it hit a clean superstar anymore. So it's just really sad that, that's what the music business is. And we hear another story about Whitney Houston was, the next one. So it's just sad that it always has to be part of the story. I didn't really enjoy the part of this documentary that talked about Whitney being a bad parent. I was kind of holding out hope that she at least did something right. And when it talked about her giving up her kid, I was like, oh gosh, here we go. This is even worse. This is why I don't like watching these about good singers, because it just ruins my image of them forever. I'm always going to remember, that Whitney had all this bad stuff going on, and she says all these things about people, and It's, it ruins my image of Whitney, and it lays it all out for you. It's all there, it's all true, and it just is hard to watch, honestly. The biggest thing for me, and everybody can see my shirt here, soar on wings like eagles. It's the reason why I'm wearing this shirt. I'm breathing. I really hate to call Whitney Houston, God bless her soul, that while she was living, she was a little bit of a fake Christian. People say they grow up in the church and they say that they give glory to God with their talent. And I am offended by superstars who do that, because if you're doing drugs and you're doing all this stuff and you can't be a good parent, are you really sincere about giving your life to God? Really? It's a tough subject, and anything I say makes me sound awful. But I think there are a lot of people out there that when they watch this movie, they're going to be like, "Really? She kept thanking God for all that, and she was just so messed up." And it's hard to, there's the side that says that her voice was a gift from God. Okay? And whether she used it for the glory of him or not doesn't really matter. The part that I'm concerned about is if she was in her right mind to use that gift appropriately, then why, if she knows that she's messed up, then why say anything about God whatsoever, even though you had that upbringing? Then just say that you're the world's biggest superstar or something. Stop trying to credit your upbringing in the church if you really don't care about that anymore. If you're not all about that, if you're all about drugs and alcohol, and just hope that makes a little bit of sense. It's just what bothered me while I was watching it. It kept spinning it and spinning it, and she just kept saying all glory to God. I'm like, oh, it's almost blasphemy. It's just terrible. So the last thing I just wanted to talk about, because like I said, anybody my age whatsoever is going to remember the news about all this stuff. The part about Bobby was like, I was watching it, for the first time, because it was all just so clear when he had all, the disgust that he wasn't the big thing in the relationship and their divorce, and the fact that the Houston family all kind of didn't do anything because they just enjoyed being famous, or part of a famous family. It was really kind of, very clear and transparent, that part of the movie. Everything was exactly how I remember it. So I like the line at the end of this movie. It says that when she passed away, that there were people hoping that the media and the newspapers could take a time out from, despairing stories to recognize her talent. And that's what I'm going to do going away from this movie, is to say Whitney Houston was a very talented singer. She did grow up in the church. She tried to give glory to God for giving her this life and this possibility, this chance, to use her music. And she got that chance. And whether she used it right or not, obviously she was on a lot of stuff and she passed away. And so um, let's just say that, that she was a really good singer. They made this movie. I watched it. We'll probably always remember the name Whitney Houston. So I'm going to give the movie Whitney a C, and I'm just going to kind of move on with my life. And I am really sad to watch this and see some of the stuff I saw, because there is a lot of language and just all the ugly stuff that it has. It feels like people had to talk about because they were on camera. I didn't feel like it was very real because everybody knew they were on camera. Even the behind the scenes stuff, they're like, "Oh, we're on camera now." So it was one of those families, and nothing was really real. So I'm just going to kind of move on from this. Thanks a lot, guys. My name's Danny. If you like this or any of my other video reviews, try and give something to watch. Like and subscribe to my channel if you would. And enjoy movies. Thanks.